Hello, Bridge Scholars. I'm Marian Jacobson, the curriculum developer for LaGuardia Bridge to College and Careers. Welcome to Task Writing and Grammar Online. This set of lessons is to help you prepare for the Task Writing Skills Test. Today we'll start with a mini lesson on sentences and a fun activity to help you get to know your online classmates. So let's get started with truth, lies, and sentences. We'll start out by going over what's on the task writing test. We'll learn to recognize what a sentence is and what it isn't, and some of the most common sentence structures. And we'll practice what we learned by playing two truths and a lie. This is the first step on your prep for the task writing skills test, as the goal is to pass. So let's get started. Knowing how to use punctuation correctly is super important. It can even save lives. Punctuation accounts for about 35% of questions, but bear in mind that these numbers are based on limited information, the best guess possible given the situation. About 40% of questions are clarity and conciseness questions. They will begin with phrases like, which revision best combines the idea of the sentences clearly and concisely, which is the best revision, and which revision best explains. Text-based questions. Text-based questions are few and far between, only 10% of the task writing. They're based on one or more paragraphs that begin with questions like, which is the best sentence to begin the paragraph? Which is the best sentence to conclude the paragraph? And the best place to insert a paragraph break would be. Today we begin by understanding clearly what a sentence is. Look at these self-introductions from our online students this semester. We asked the Bridge students to introduce themselves online without any instruction on sentences, but most of what you guys wrote was complete sentences, well, with some editing to suit our purposes. It's very important to write complete sentences in college-level work, and it's even more important to understand what a complete sentence is. Let's read and find out what characteristics they have in common that make them all sentences. My friends and family call me G. I am a director and an actor. My first job was as a receptionist with an immigration office. Humility is my best quality. I have been fixing cars since the age of 13. Think of what you know about sentences. Can you think of some things that these all have in common that make them sentences? Have you ever heard a teacher tell you something like, a sentence is a complete thought? Some teachers will tell you that, but for me, it's a bit too vague. For our purposes, a sentence is a group of words that have a subject, a verb, a capital at the beginning, and a period or some kind of end punctuation. So for today's purposes, let's just focus on the subject and the verb. The subjects and the verbs are what we'll be talking about today. So what is the verb and how do you find it? The verb is the word that shows action, like work. Maria worked. Some verbs like had or is don't seem to be very active. Maria had worked at a fast food restaurant. Maria is not working now. The verb is the word that shows action. Some verbs do change with time. Once you find the verb, you can easily identify the subject being the thing or person that does the action of the verb. Who worked? Maria. Who is the subject? Maria. There are always going to be exceptions. There's one exception to the rule that sentences have to have subjects and verbs. These are special kinds of sentences. Wash your hands. Check out these excellent grammar resources. Call me Dr. J. Be kind to yourself. These sentences are commands. The subject of the sentence is you or all of you, but we don't say the you. You may be asked to recognize a command on the task, so remember these. We'll review them later. Now let's take a look back at the about me sentences. All right, so let's practice back to the sentences about our classmates. Can you find the verbs and the subjects? The verbs are underlined in blue. Math is my favorite subject. I am, was, and is are all verbs. We have the subjects underlined in black. Math, number one, I, my first job, and humility. If you can find the verb, it's much easier to find the subject. And now, sentence practice, 2 truths and a lie, where we practice writing sentences with subjects and verbs. So basically the rules are that you think of 2 true statements about yourself and 1 that is a lie because it's false, deceptive, or a product of your wishful thinking. So let's look at an example from Pretty Little Liars star Ian Harding. He has a YouTube video where he shares 2 truths and a lie. Can you figure out which one the lie is? They all seem pretty believable. Class speaker at his graduation, all-star lacrosse player, and born in Germany. Turns out, though, that number 3 is the lie. You can go and see the whole thing on YouTube. So now it's time to do our own 2 truths and a lie. And here are some tips. Start your sentences with I. I is the subject. Do different action verbs. And we're trying to write a lie that's actually believable. Weak statement. Example, I'm afraid of cats. A better statement would be, I'm afraid of cats because my aunt's cat bit me. And the best option would be, I am afraid of cats because my aunt's cat bit me when I was a 5-year-old girl. So now it's your turn. Just go to the 2 truths and a lie discussion thread on Schoology and read your instructor's post. Then write your own truths and a lie as numbered sentences, like in the example. Check your sentences to make sure they all have those beautiful action verbs. And then take a deep breath and respond to 2 other classmates' posts saying which statement you think is the lie and why. And then the fun part, go back to your own post and do a reveal saying which one is the lie. And good luck as you begin studying for the task. Don't forget to submit an exit ticket about one thing you learned about writing sentences or the task writing test, and one surprising thing you learned about your classmates in the 2 truths and a lie activity. I hope you have fun with the 2 truths and a lie activity. We have some excellent resources for you to continue practicing grammar and writing for the task. Grammar Bites and grammar quizzes from Capital Community College are excellent websites to practice when you get a little closer to the test because they focus on sentence combining. It's really important to first be able to understand how simple sentences work, and then you'll be able to understand and succeed on the writing task. That's a wrap with Dr. J and Grammar and Writing. Good luck and see you soon.